Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Anna's Crafty Amore. I'm Anna. Today I'd like to show you some WIPs, some finished objects. So we'll get started with the WIPs first of all. Now I've got knitted projects as well, I've got crochet projects. As you may know, I do like to knit as well. So if you're following me on Instagram, I will leave the tag for Instagram, I suppose you could call it, down below in the description down below. You'll see that I've slowly been making progress. The knitting, I'm not the fastest knitter, but I'm trying and have been knitting for quite some time, but I mostly choose very basic basic patterns. I've only just broken into some lace work items like scarves and shawls that I'm going to be showing you with a little bit of lace work. I'm a bit more adventurous when it comes to crocheting, but knitting I'm still, treading lightly. Anyway, the very first one is a shawl that I'm making, and this is called the Wendy Shawl, and it's quite long. And now it might be a little bit hard to see. Now obviously this is still on the needles. These are the Knit Pro needles with the cable. Now there is lace work. You can just barely see it in there. There's lace work there. You can see where these like poles are, and up along here there's all lace work going along. And I'll show you what the actual pattern is meant to look like. Now most likely, as always, this yarn is absolutely beautiful. The yarn is by FiberLily, and it's Athena, goddess of gardens and swamps. I think that's the name of the yarn. I'll put a link in down below as well to FiberLily, so that way you can have a look what she has. But this is the Wendy, it's a Wendy Fern shawl. I probably should have chosen a bit more of a solid yarn for this. However, I just adore this. It is the softest, most beautiful yarn that Kylie from FiberLily has made and hand dyed. And this is the Wendy shawl. So you can see that there's lace work in here and in here and another band there. So the section that I'm up to now is this section, where I've completed the last of this almost arrow pointing, it's like a leaf design through here, and I'm into this garter section, and then it should be enough. I should have quite enough yarn left, because this is a finger 8 weight yarn. I have this much left, so I don't know whether that's how much that would be, maybe 40 grams, maybe thereabouts. But so that's the first WIP that I have at the moment, and it's been going for a little while, only because I either start something new, or I think, oh, I'll stop doing some knitting, give my knuckles a bit of a break, and then I'll do some crocheting. So I'll sort of chop and change between the two. But so that's the first one that I have. Now the second WIP that I have here is also another shawl. Now this one is using 3 different colors, and the name of the shawl, which I have it here in my folder, the name of the shawl is called the Odyssey Shawl, and this shawl is by Joji Locatelli, and it is absolutely beautiful. So I'll show you. That's Joji there. That's the Odyssey Shawl, and it's beautiful. So you can see it's in 3 colors, and each band of color has a garter section, which is that plain just knit every row basically section, and then it has this lovely intricate lace section. Then that's the final lace section there, and again my favorite, picots. I love picots. So I'll show you what I have now. I've already done the first section, so that's the first section. So I've completed the first section. So this, I'll turn it the other way. So this part here is the part that would be up around your neck, for say. So it would go this way. Let's show you around the front. Oh, a bit tangled here. Okay, so that's the top section. first section, and then that's the second section. The color's pretty true on the top. The bottom, it's a bit harder to see. Oh, there you go. That's pretty true to color there. Bottom section. So then I'll be up to the next lace section, which is along here. That's the lace section. So there's another lace section to go. And I'm using the Chiagu, I think that's how you say the name of these needles. Chiagu, the red lace circulars, and these are 4.5 millimeter, which is equivalent of a 7 in the US, I think. So also what I do when I'm doing a big knitting project like this, so it's easy to count the stitches, I mark every 50 stitches. So that's why I've got a lot of stitch markers. But really the actual pattern itself only calls for 2 stitch markers, which I've got one here at the beginning. So it calls for 2, one at the beginning basically, and one at the end. And these stitch markers, I just made them myself with some old earrings that I had. Put some new life into them. So that's there. So that's the Odyssey Shawl by Joji Locatelli. And this shawl, my Odyssey Shawl, lives in this beautiful bag, which I won on Instagram. There was an Instagram giveaway, and the Merlot yarn by this company here, Giacomo Textiles. It was a Merlot giveaway, so the theme was Merlot wine, and this beautiful bag, absolutely gorgeous with a drawstring. It has a divided pocket inside with a zipper, and it also came with this yarn here. That's probably a better colour now showing. And stitch markers, which I don't have on hand, but 2 stitch markers in the shape of little wine glasses with red wine in there. Oh my god, so cute. And the Wendy shawl that I'm making, the Wendy shawl, lives in this bag, which I made myself. I made myself a little project bag. And that's the lining. And this is an enamel pin that I got from Knit Crate. That's the Knit Crate emblem. It lives in that bag. It's just a little bag. It's much smaller than this one, as you can see, but it's deeper. Now I just wanted to show you a couple of finished objects that I have. Firstly, it's a beanie that I made for my husband. So that's it there. This is all completely crocheted, the crocheted beanie. And it's got a row of double crochet on the bottom, but the rest of the stitch is a half double crochet. And the way that this is crocheted is you actually crochet it along like this. So it's crocheted in a square, sorry, not a square, like a rectangle piece of fabric. And then you, on the top here, you thread through some yarn and cinch it together. And that's where it's cinched together on the top. And you can see that I've just left the yarn there, just tied into a knot. It doesn't bother my husband. It's nice and it sits flat. And on the bottom, just to give it a nice finish, I just did a double crochet and just gave it that little bit extra of length too, which because he likes to either fold it up or leave it straight. But it turned out nice. The colours are true, so it's like a grey, sort of a mustardy colour and a cream. And this yarn, my daughter actually bought this in Sydney, and she bought this for me. It was on sale, so I don't know exactly what store she bought it from, but I do know that it is called, well, maybe I'll just show you, it's easy to it's a 14 ply, so it's quite thick, so probably like a bulky 6 weight, and it's 100% pure wool and made in New Zealand. It doesn't have a colour number, it just has a batch number, which is number 42, but it has 60 meters. I don't know what the equivalent would be in, maybe around 70 meters possibly in 70 yards. and it does have, it's soft, but it does have a wool feeling to it. Well, being 100% wool, I suppose it would have. I haven't washed it or blocked it or anything like that yet, but I just love this pattern. It's really nice. Now I'll put a link to the pattern below. For the life of me, I can't remember what the pattern was called, but it was a YouTube tutorial that I followed. And this one, see the seam on this one, it came beautiful. That's where the seam is there. It's very hard to tell. But that turned out really nice. Now the next finished object that I have is 2 headbands. And these headbands I made using acrylic yarn. And I used the two acrylic yarns, 2 threads of the acrylic yarn, so doubled. And it is a pattern by Rell from the Dabbling hook. And it's a lovely headband. So it uses a cross double crochet, and then you, I think it was, yeah, single crochet, which is the reverse single crochet, so it's called a crab stitch. And she made it with like ties. Okay, so that's the first one. So what I did was I thought my ties that I made here, they don't look, to me, they didn't look long enough to be able to like tie it nicely and get them into a little bow or what have you. So I decided to put 3, you can see here there's 3 loops. So 3 loops, and on the other side I just stitched on a little button, so that when you want to put it onto your head, measure what size you want it. Let's say we're going to put it onto the middle button. If I can get that here. Put it onto the middle button. And that also, it makes it sit flat. It doesn't, it sits flat, so then that way you can just slip it on and off. Because especially, I made this for my granddaughters, so, you know, and they're under 5 years old, so they're not really ones to keep still long enough for you to be able to, you know, sit there and tie and what have you. So I thought, oh, that'll make it easier to slip on and off that way. And it looks so cute. So this was a white yarn that I used with the multicolour yarn. And the multicolour yarn has like a soft blue, soft purple, and a very soft pink in it. And the other one I made with 2 different yarns, and it's a variegated yarn. So the variegated yarn has that darker pinkish and the purple in it, and a lighter, here, this one, a lighter pink. And the second yarn that I used was the one, let me see, this strand here. It's a bit hard to see that strand there. But it came out beautiful. I love this headband. Now, if you follow me again on Instagram, I would have posted up a couple of pictures there with me actually wearing this headband. And it fits really nice. It's thick enough to hold your hair back, thick enough to cover if you have any regrowth, but thin enough that it looks pretty. It doesn't bulk up around your ears or anything like that. It's just a brilliant pattern. I love it. Definitely be making more of these. Beautiful. So that's all I have for you today. I hope that you like everything what I've made so far and what I'm working on. I'm determined to get these shawls done because it's been way too long and winter is coming. Like winter is actually coming. So it is starting to get a bit colder here in New South Wales in Australia. We're in the middle of fall, which is autumn, and the temperatures are approximately 7 to 8 degrees Celsius, and they sort of top around 18 to 20 degrees Celsius as well. So, but anyway, I hope you like my content for today, and if you like what you've seen, hit the thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already subscribed to my channel. And please do write some comments in the comment section and just tell me what you think about my projects, if you have any other suggestions of what you'd like to see. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. That's it.